All right, welcome. Well, hello and welcome everyone to the Diatomic Digital Accelerator Application Support webinar. I am Agathe Parrois. I am the Program Manager at Connected Places Catapult. Today's webinar will enable you to get all the information you need in order to apply for this opportunity. On the screen, you can see today's agenda. So first, I will do a quick intro about Connected Places Catapult, and then I will give you an overview of the Diatomic program. I will then hand over to Catherine Hatfield, Strategic Lead for the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter, and then to Paul Woodcock, who is the Green Innovation Corridor Program Director, and they will each present the investment zones. They will be followed by Raj Mack from the Birmingham City Council, who will present the 4 challenges for the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter, and then we'll welcome David Heasom, who recorded a video, and Kiran Gulia from the University of Wolverhampton, who will present the challenges for the Green Innovation Corridor. Following the explanation of the challenges, we will welcome James Bellingham from Siemens, who will give an overview of the digital twin platform that was developed during the first 2 years of the Diatomic program. Finally, I will give a quick overview of the application process, and I will be supported by Claire Petheram from our application platform, who will give a quick demo of how to apply to this opportunity. Finally, we'll have some time for Q&A. I would like to say that this webinar is recorded, and you will be able to watch the recording in the next few days. We will also publish a frequently asked question on our opportunity page, so you will be able to see all the answers that were provided during the webinar. And if we don't have time to cover all the questions, we will ensure those questions are answered later on. So please do use, there's a Q&A box. You can ask all your questions using that Q&A box. Next slide, please. So the overview of Connected Places Catapult. Next slide. So I'd like to give you a quick overview for the one who don't know us. We are the UK Innovation Accelerator for Cities, Transport and Places. We are an independent non-for-profit organization, partially funded by the UK government. We provide impartial innovation as a service for public bodies, businesses and infrastructure providers. Next slide, please. We are part of a network of 9 centers of excellence spanning over 40 locations across the UK. You can see where all those centers are on this map of the UK. Next slide, please. On this slide, I just wanted to show you the range of accelerators that Connected Places Catapult has run so far. We do a lot of our work focused on transport. So you can see on this slide, we have ISP2, HS2, and National Highway. But we also do a lot in the built environment and local growth, where the Clean Future program and Diatomic program fit in. Next slide, please. I will now give you a quick overview of the Diatomic program. Next slide. So Diatomic has been designed to accelerate place-based innovation in the West Midlands. We are seeking to do so by harnessing the region's existing innovation asset, institution, and international relationships through a series of targeted innovation. The program is now in its 3rd year, building on the work that was done over the past 2 years. During the first 2 years, Connected Places Catapult, the University of Birmingham, and Siemens have developed a digital twin platform, and we now want to use this platform and develop it further with the help of some startups. This is why we have created this accelerator. Next slide, please. So Diatomic is one of the initiatives funded by the West Midlands Combined Authorities, and it seeks to ensure that the region benefits from the UK's commitment to increase public research and development funding. For this program, we partnered with Birmingham City Council, Birmingham City University, University of Birmingham, Aston University, Wolverhampton City Council, and the University of Wolverhampton. Next slide, please. So the objective of this accelerator, first of all, it is to address the challenges of the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter and the Green Innovation Corridor. My colleagues will share more details about each challenges shortly. We aim to support SMEs based in the West Midlands to grow and accelerate their development by providing them with trial opportunities and business support. Next slide, please. So this program will have 2 streams. The first one is the technical support. Aston University and Birmingham City Birmingham City University will provide onboarding to the digital twin platform and technical expertise to the SMEs for them to realize their trial during the program and develop their technology further. Next slide. The second stream focuses on the commercial support. So here we will want to accelerate the growth of the SMEs by providing them with bespoke commercial development support. Next slide. I will now cover quickly the impact of the past 2 years. So during the first 2 years, we ran 2 other accelerators. The first one was a UK-focused accelerator where we had 9 SMEs conducting 9 trials. You can see on this slide that it helped creating new full-time equivalent jobs. One SME got a contract with the Birmingham City Council, and also one SME got a patent approved after the program. So those are really great numbers, and we want to continue this journey with you. The second accelerator was the India accelerator. Next slide, please. Where we had 7 SMEs joining the program and coming with the Connected Places Catapult to market visit to India. One of those SMEs did an in-market trial, and you can see the numbers. There were a lot of investor introduction and business networking opportunities that were created thanks to this program. We hope that this new year will have similar numbers to share at the end of the year. I hope this gives you a good understanding of the Diatomic program, and I will now like to hand over to Catherine Hatfield, who will present in more detail the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Agathe, for that introduction. So my name's Catherine. I'm the strategic lead for Birmingham Knowledge Quarter. I've got a QR code on the slide here for you. If we don't cover anything today, a lot of the detail around what we're trying to achieve is in our prospectus that you can download. So Birmingham Knowledge Quarter, we are to the east of the city centre. If you wouldn't mind going to the next slide, please. So we are looking north to south here on this map. So at the top of the screen, you can see where HS2 will be arriving into Birmingham city centre. To the right of the screen, we've got Snow Hill, the city centre, the Jewellery Quarter. To the top of the screen is Digbeth. And to the bottom of the screen is East Birmingham. So Birmingham Knowledge Quarter, we are aiming to deliver a global innovation district. If you think about King's Cross in London, for example, where you've got the Google development and the brilliant public realm surrounding that, we've got a brilliant opportunity with HS2 arriving into Birmingham to develop with our university and private sector partners around that. At the moment, Birmingham Knowledge Quarter is, we have Aston University, we have BCU, we've got Millennium Point, we've got some brilliant assets such as Steam House, for example, but there are a lot of car parks, a lot of challenges to get to from the city centre to the Knowledge Quarter. So we're in very much master planning stage at the moment. If we could go into the next slide, please. Fab, thank you. So this is our traditional kind of master plan framework. So you can see the black dotted line, which is surrounding the BKQ core site. So this is where we want to develop our innovation district. At the moment, there's a couple of challenges for us. We've got the James Watt Queensway, which is the what's shown as kind of a green line to the west of our site, which is quite a big barrier for us in terms of getting people from the city centre towards Aston University and BCU. We've also got Jennings Road to the south, and then we've got the dual carriageway to the east of the site. So physically, we're a bit of an island, but we are so close to all of the action in Birmingham that one of the challenges we have is about how we address that and get around the site as well. So a bit of broader context about Birmingham Knowledge Quarter is we're part of the West Midlands Investment Zone, and that means that we are able to allocate various sites across Birmingham Knowledge Quarter that have tax incentives on them. So that might be business rates relief, capital gains tax relief, etc., etc. There's lots of information in our prospectus about what benefits investors get from investing in Birmingham Knowledge Quarter. So the focus of our innovation district will be around life sciences, medtech, health tech, and the digital sector. So really reflecting the strengths of Aston University and Birmingham City University. Also, one of our big ambitions is to build on those increased links to London through HS2. So we're working a lot with the White City Innovation District, for example, at the moment, about how we bring and build that knowledge corridor between Birmingham and West London. So at the moment, as I say, we're in master planning stage, so we're very much wanting to understand how we plan for this site to become a global innovation district. As I say, we've got some good assets already, but there's a lot to go at in terms of active travel around the site, blue-green infrastructure, using the many miles of canals that Birmingham boasts, getting people to, from, around the site. We're really dealing with, I wouldn't say it's a blank canvas at the moment, but we're very much got the opportunity to shape and design this global innovation district over the next 5, 10, 15 years as it's built out. And finally, on to the next slide, please. And just so you're all aware, these are our partners. So we've got our anchor universities of Aston and Birmingham City University. We've got the City Council playing a leading role in unlocking a lot of the land and the infrastructure developments, and Raj, who we'll pass on to later in this call, will give lots more information about the challenges that we're looking at around Birmingham Knowledge Quarter. We've got Bruntwood SciTech, who have Faraday Wharf, Enterprise Wharf at the moment, just to the north of the site, and Woodbourne Group as well, who are developing to the north of the site. So they're our private sector developers. And that is it. I'm going to stop there for Birmingham Knowledge Quarter.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And now we'll hand over to Paul Woodcock to present the Green Innovation Corridor.
Thank you. Similar to Catherine, I'm the Programme Director for the Wolverhampton Green Innovation Corridor. And again, it's based on innovation district principles. There's plenty of literature online for innovation districts if you want any further reading, or I can provide some links in the chat if needed. Next slide, please. So again, we're probably at the foothills of the innovation district concept in Wolverhampton, areas that have been running 10, 15, 20 years, of course, on this. Wolverhampton's a year or two in. But what we have got is a refined vision, an ambition to be a world-leading research-led cluster in green technology, and in particular a focus on 3 areas really, and they are construction, computing, and green engineering. And I'll speak a little bit in a moment about why those 3 and some of the examples of the strengths and the existing R&D base on that. And clearly we want to do that to drive a more productive, sustainable and highly skilled economy, and obviously innovative industries, which this morning's all about as well. And I think really the anchor institutions are the University of Wolverhampton and the City Council, but clearly working with lots of other partners, again, similar to what Catherine's just said for Birmingham. But it's also important to recognise the existing business base, both in the corridor, in Wolverhampton, the Black Country and the wider West Midlands, because we're not starting from scratch, especially in those 3 sectors or strengths that I've just mentioned. Next slide, please. It wouldn't be a corridor without any geography, would it? So don't pay too much attention to the sort of lines because it's an indicative zone. It can flex, and of course things do happen outside of this corridor as well, but it's important just to get a little bit of a feeling where it is. And it's from the city centre, which is to the bottom of the screen, and goes all the way north to the M54 motorway and the successful I-54 business park, where there's some very strong anchor institutions and organisations and companies up there. And it takes in the Science Park area, which is marked in blue, the University of Wolverhampton Science Park, and there's some opportunities for some further development there. And then the Springfield campus, which is the brown area, again, significant research and development and institutions as part of the university, again at the Springfield campus, and that gives us an opportunity to connect it in better with lots of economic development and regeneration activity in the city centre. Next slide, please. So I mentioned around R&D being at the forefront, and just to give you an example of some of the areas of research and expertise, you've got the National Brownfield Institute that's based at Springfield, obviously does what it says on the tin. Next door at Springfield, as part of the Faculty for Engineering, you've got the Centre for Excellence for Shaped Laser Additive Manufacturing, and there was a launch of that centre in the spring, and lots of collaboration with businesses that are small, medium, and even large in additive manufacturing. And then another example, which is based up at the Science Park, and again working with companies, is the Centre for Cyber Resilience and Artificial Intelligence, of course very topical at this moment in time, and again lots of strengths both within the university but also within the business presence within Wolverhampton as well, in that with companies such as Goldilocks, for example, that are based at the Science Park. Next slide, please. And the final one for me, really, it's just what do we say is the strengths and assets, because that's clearly what makes an innovation district hopefully different from elsewhere. It is that area around strengths and centres of excellence. It's around innovative, world-leading businesses, and examples up at the I-54 are listed on the slide. But of course, there's lots of SMEs as well that are in this field. And again, that's important, especially for this morning. Lots happening in terms of employment, education, training and skills. And again, there's significant strengths within Wolverhampton, the Black Country, and also the West Midlands in areas such as construction and manufacturing. So again, playing to those strengths and building on them. It's got the partnership between the university, the public sector and the private sector, and we've got strong governance around the Green Innovation Corridor. It's also part of the West Midlands Investment Zone, and there's also some levelling up 3 funding that are looking at bringing some sites forward and also strengthening areas around Springfield and the Science Park itself. And as important is working with that strong existing business base. But again, there's available land and buildings to grow, and we very much see that as part of either startups, scale-ups, growing companies, or inward investors, and leveraging the advantages that we have in Wolverhampton and the Green Innovation Corridor to grow that part of the economy, and to really have that cluster and agglomeration that I said from the city centre out to Springfield campus and all the way through up to I-54. Thank you. That's the introduction to the Green Innovation Corridor.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you, Catherine, as well, really for providing more context around the 2 investment zones. All the challenges we have defined for this program and that you will hear about in a second are linked to those 2 investment zones. I'd like to now hand over to Raj Mak, who will present the 4 challenges for the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Aga. Yes, my name's Raj Mak. I'm Head of Digital City and Innovation for Birmingham City Council, and it's great to see so many interest in some of the activities that we're doing in the Knowledge Quarter. Hopefully, I'm going to present you 4 great challenges that are quite diverse for the Knowledge Quarter. I hope you find them exciting, and they will be challenging, but hopefully they'll give you an opportunity to really show your innovation capabilities and really support us in the outcomes we want to achieve. Next slide, please. So the first challenge is really looking at the mobility capabilities in the area. So Catherine's already talked about some of the barriers that we've had in terms of the Knowledge Quarter, how it's slightly disconnected. And what we really want to do is ensure that the Knowledge Quarter is a connected place, that it can be navigated through, that all the different developments in there can be walked through, can get to in an easy, safe and pleasurable way to walk through that. So what we're trying to do is to really create interconnected green pathways with clear navigation to be able to connect from one place to another and do those routes in a really safe environment. We know that there are challenges around urban spaces with the various different transportation options in there, and these transportation options within that area will include things like walking, micromobility, there'll be rail in there, there'll be bus in there, light transit routes, as well as canals in there. So we want to be able to use that whole capability to be able to develop the capabilities to walk and use that area in the most effective way. So what we are really hoping from the digital twin strategies around this to enhance that current mobility and look at what the future needs could be. And clearly wayfinding is one of the opportunities. We want to make sure that the area is seen as being connected, that we can walk through that area, cycle through that area, use other modes for that area in a safe environment and in the most optimized capabilities, and look at what are the things that could potentially stop those pleasurable routes to walk across there and what those barriers could be, and how do we actually navigate the walkways to enable that to be mitigated. The second area in this is we really want to ensure that there is identity and a sense of place. We know, as I mentioned, there's lots of different types of transport going into that area. We want to make sure that there is a smooth transition between one mode of transport to another, so that these are interconnected ways of getting through that area, and one transport mode will then support and seamlessly connect with another one. We want to be able to plan our transport planning capabilities much more, look at the different solutions that we can put into this wider area to ensure that the connectivity is there and the services are interlinked and can be seamless in their approach. We also know that in this area, there will be delivery. It's a multi-purpose area. And what we want to design is something that is future-proofed. And we know that we want to make sure that it's a low vehicle zone. That's one of our outcomes, is it's going to be net zero. It's going to be a low vehicle zone. And we want to make sure that deliveries are done as effective as possible. And we want to create the locations and the opportunities to introduce new technologies like drones and other capabilities to be able to have effective delivery mechanisms in there. And finally, we want to be able to optimize that last mile mobility. We know there are different mobile capabilities, different modes, different routes. We want to make sure that in that area, we can create a connectivity that is both within the knowledge quarter, but also enables us to get into the city center, understand how that route can be seamless and connected, but also into East Birmingham, so it becomes part and parcel of the fabric of the city rather than an isolated zone. So that's our first challenge. And clearly, in your responses, if there are other things that you could do, we're more than willing to listen to some of those. Next slide, please. So the second one, again, really exciting one, is about how do we maximize and optimize land usage and really accelerate development taking place. You've heard from Catherine the amount of development opportunities there. What we really want to do is to ensure that we have the right tools in place to enhance decision making when we're planning that land usage, and so that we can accelerate developments in that area. We know that if you have a good understanding of the underground infrastructure, that can be a real opportunity to accelerate investment. We could understand what are the opportunities to look at the existing infrastructure in there. How do we actually how do we actually use the existing infrastructure, but where the gaps could be as well, and what could we then design so that we can make developments much faster, much more easier to develop moving forward. And we want to understand what those assets are, whether they're public or whether they're private, so we can utilize those much more effectively. So what we're hoping that the digital twin will be able to help us to do is to map some of that infrastructure. We want to be able to see innovative maps that collect that underground information and that land classification, so we can utilize how we can use that land more effectively and how we can drive investment in a much faster way. We also want to ensure that we can do planning at speed. We want to make sure that we've got innovations that will help us through decision making on how effective that land can be used, how we can do forecasting, and how we can use that land potentially for multiple purposes. And that leads on to sort of making sure that we got better utilization of our land. How can we use innovation to be able to understand how we rezone things, and how do we develop future developments? That land could be used in a different way. As Catherine has mentioned, we're in that planning stage now, and land could be used for alternative purposes. It could be used for meanwhile purposes. And we're hoping that the digital twin will help us understand how most effectively we can use the different types of land we've got there and how we can remove some of the barriers in terms of doing that. And we want to understand what those barriers could be, both regulatory and physical, so that we can stop some of the delays that could potentially happen and really accelerate the investments and the regeneration capabilities. Next slide, please. So the third area is really around digital connectivity. One of our aspirations for the Knowledge Quarter is to make sure it's a showcase for digital capabilities where businesses and entrepreneurs can really accelerate and access the best connectivity so they can develop their new products and services in a safe environment and really showcase how those could be scaled at pace. So what we want to be able to do is explore how we can develop models to provide seamless digital connectivity in the Knowledge Quarter, ensuring that there is full future-proofed full fiber capability as well as wireless infrastructure to ensure that we do not have any places where connectivity is an issue. We know that urban regions often struggle with inconsistent digital connectivity, and that's often due to sort of physical barriers, network congestions, and inconsistency in the way the networks are being developed. So what we want to do is to help us to really plan for where connectivity assets could be situated, where it could be located, where do we actually put the infrastructure so that we can have this seamless connectivity across that area. So what we're hoping that the digital twin will help us to do, it will help us map out the existing wired and the wireless infrastructure so that we can identify where the provision needs to be enhanced, where we can put further infrastructure in, and how we can actually develop that much further, much faster. We want to be able to ensure that we are planning to develop new assets and new connectivity assets into the area. So we want to be able to develop, again, the best locations for full fiber, where the towers could go, and where we could put public Wi-Fi in, and where do we enable that connectivity to take place to ensure that there are no not spots across the area. We want to ensure that there is also seamless connectivity in that area. We recognize that there will be different types of connectivity from 5G, from wireless, and what we want to be able to create in this area is a seamless connectivity that jumps from one connective to another. And how do we model that capability, recognizing that different technologies can be brought together to create that seamless experience for visitors, for SMEs, and for that product development capability. And finally, we want to address urban challenges where connectivity is impacted by tall buildings. We know that there is issues around line of sight. We know there's issues around density of areas and large numbers. We want to be able to model the city, so model their area, so that we can ensure that there is consistency in the level of connectivity that and it could be a good experience for the users out there. And finally, next slide, please. One of the opportunities in that area is one of the buildings that we have there. It's the Woodcock Street building. It's a significant structure and it's part of Aston University's contribution towards the Knowledge Quarter campus. And it will be designed as a multi-purpose building facility and will house different partners in there, different organizations in there. The facility has space of about 220,000 square feet and will include things like the Aston Business Hub in there. It'll have the Aston Integrated Health Hub, a healthcare hub in there, as well as the Green Energy Centre. So a really multi-purpose building that is capable of being flexed and develop different things depending on how we use that. And this is where the digital twin opportunity could really help us understand how to maximize the utilization of that building. So we want to be able to build model of the building, and we want to look for innovations that will help decisions as to where we can put connectivity assets. How do we ensure that building is future-proofed? Where would we put the infrastructure in the most necessary way so they can actually then support future developments moving forward? We want to make sure that the building is net zero and efficient in its use of energy. So we want to be able to develop that infrastructure in there to ensure the building is minimizing emissions and minimizing waste whilst it is developing or supplying the level of energy needs that we have in that area. We want to ensure that the buildings can be climate resilient. We have seen extreme weather changes, extreme heat, cold weather, snow and everything like that. We want to make sure that the buildings is future-proof so we can make sure it's resilient enough to cope with extreme weather conditions or other conditions to make sure that building can then be used despite any emergencies that might emerge. And then finally, we want to make sure that we are optimizing the space of that building, understanding how do we utilize the areas in there, how do we address peaks and troughs in the occupancy level so we are maximizing the energy requirements of that building. So those are sort of the 4 key challenges. They're all very diverse and they're all exciting. So I hope the businesses out there could really have a look at these and see how you can support us in taking these further forward. Thanks, Aga.
Many thanks, Raj. So those were the 4 challenges for the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter. Before we move on to the Green Innovation Corridor challenges that will be presented by the University of Wolverhampton, I wanted to remind everyone that there is a QA function on this webinar. So if you have any questions, please do put them in the QA box. Unfortunately, David Hissam could not join us today, but he kindly recorded a video to present the next challenge. So I will hand over to I will now show the video. Thanks, everyone.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Hissam, and I'm a Professor of Digital Built Environment at the University of Wolverhampton. I'm actually located in the School of Architecture and Built Environment, and I guess more importantly, I also work alongside my colleagues and experts within the National Brownfield Institute, which is a facility that's located on our Springfield campus. In itself, the campus is a 12-acre brownfield site located in the centre of Wolverhampton next to the railway line. Now, in terms of this challenge, much of the focus in recent events around the world has been sort of rapid development, enhancement, and the application of artificial intelligence in various forms. And this in itself is also true of the built environment sector. We've not escaped that. And AI is now starting to gain significant interest in how it can really support design and the creation of a more sustainable and more livable spaces for all of us. It's particularly that area of how we can use AI technologies to better plan and regenerate spaces that we're particularly interested in exploring further within this challenge. Now, the particular focus of this challenge is around the regeneration and the reuse of brownfield sites, and obviously we have quite an abundance of those, certainly within the West Midlands region, but also more nationally within the UK as a whole. There's a vast amount of brownfield sites. What we're seeking to do as a fundamental sort of principle of this challenge is to bring together the emerging technologies around AI and the regeneration of brownfield sites to try and better foster improved approaches to regeneration, also gain more efficient approaches to the overall regeneration of that land. Now, brownfield sites very often come with large amounts of constraints, and these could be ranging from regional or sub-regional planning constraints. But on top of that, there's lots of other issues, and these could quite possibly be historic issues to do with how the site was used. And these all add an extra layer of complexity for any sort of potential redevelopment or regeneration work that is going to go on. Something that we're looking for as a kind of a key output for this challenge is to develop some AI-based workflows that can really support a more efficient regeneration of brownfield sites. Now, this may also kind of bring to bear better planning applications or more efficient and more robust planning applications. But at the same time, we're looking to use some of these emerging sort of technology workflows to maximize the usability and also the profitability of the site during any regeneration work that takes place. We are aware that there are some technologies and indeed some AI-based software tools already in the marketplace. And some of these can undertake elements of master planning for sites. And these kind of generative design-based tools are continually evolving, but they're still in a relative early phase in their life cycles and their developments in terms of urban planning. And the one thing we've particularly observed is their lack of really embracing some of the nuances or embedding some of the complexities of brownfield regeneration within these out-of-the-box tools and capabilities. Therefore, what we're really looking for is a way to develop workflows, new workflows, which will allow us to either use existing or new AI-based tools to allow us to integrate the nuances, particularly around brownfield regeneration. Obviously, from our perspective as the National Brownfield Institute, we have quite a lot of intelligence, knowledge, information around the specifics of some of the constraints within brownfield sites. And we'll be looking to share that information and that knowledge as well that we hold within the NBI with anybody who is interested in undertaking this challenge. We also have academics within the Digital Construction Research Group here in the School of Architecture and Built Environment. And they work across and they collaborate extensively with the National Brownfield Institute. And these guys have knowledge and expertise in the use of AI and digital technologies. And they'd be happy to also collaborate with anybody in this sort of domain too. So that's just a little bit about the challenge in a nutshell, and you'll see there's some additional words on screen too. But if anybody has a particular interest in the challenge, then we'd be really happy to hear from you, and we would certainly look forward to hearing any further thoughts from anybody who has an interest.
Great. So that was the challenge 5 around planning for the Green Innovation Corridor. Thank you so much, David, for recording this video. And I will now hand over to Kiran Gulia, who will present the last challenges for the Green Innovation Corridor.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Kiran Gulia. I am the academic in clean energy in University of Wolverhampton. This challenge is around the Green Innovation Corridor. Earlier, you've heard about all the vast developments in the Green Innovation Corridor. And this challenge particularly is integrating the renewable sources and the energy within the GIC area. So this challenge is to explore the new renewable energy, how to integrate it and to optimize the energy that is being deployed earlier or anything which is going on new, and to also work out the effect on the grid stability and especially the energy storages as well. The modeling will help in processing the data and gathering the data exercise. This will be an automated data processing, especially for the predictive maintenance plans or the fault detection and how to enhance the life of the renewables assets which will be deployed or have already been deployed. Again, the data will be modeled in terms of assessing the scenario for the risks. So the innovations will undertake the modeling, which will test the quality and qualify the uncertainties and the risk that comes from the scaling of these renewables. The surge which goes onto the grid, the national grid, for example, and the capacity constraints that the grid poses, the supply chain risks and the regulatory changes which will come through after we work out the data for the modeling. The data has to be reformatted, so that essentially means that we look to standardize the renewable energy data sets, and these data will be ready-made model for integration into the national digital twin programs. So essentially the key output of the challenge is to create and assess the data, reformat it, and to assess the integration viability of the renewable assets within the GIC corridor. This is all from me, but if you have any questions, please do put it into the question and answer format, and we'll be happy to take the questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kiran. So those were the 6 challenges we have for this program. And now we will move on to the digital twin platform demonstration by Siemens. So as mentioned before, this platform was developed by the 3 universities of Birmingham, Connected Places Catapult, and Siemens over the past 2 years. And we are now looking to address the 6 challenges you've just heard using this platform and developing this platform further. So now I will welcome James Bellingham to present the platform.
Great, thanks again. Brilliant. If you move to the next slide, we'll make a start with the Diatomic digital twin platform that we've been developing as part of this wider Diatomic project that hopefully everyone's familiar with now. And you've seen the amazing opportunities and the challenges that are put forward for the different districts across the West Midlands. And this is all about underpinning that and how we enable kind of subject matter experts and small, medium businesses, universities, others to create applications, use cases around digital twin and use that to generate these opportunities and the outcomes within the regions. So if you click, we can see the different goals that we had for the starting point of the project. So the goal is to build a digital twin platform, digital twin based platform. So underpinning lots of different digital twin applications, and the three main goals were around connectivity. So how do we interconnect different digital twin use cases? Thinking about federation. So we saw from the start that there's never going to be one singular digital twin of the entire kind of city or the West Midlands region. It's really going to be built up of lots of different kind of functionality, applications, innovations that should be brought together to harness the amazing opportunities. And scalable. So from the start, even though we started with 3 exemplars, which I'll explain shortly, the goal was always to scale beyond that and to bring on additional businesses, SMEs, and other partners across the city and the region to grow and to utilize the platform beyond the initial use cases. So moving forward, we have the next slide shows the actual strategy for how we set up the platform and underpinning architecture. So you see we've got these different hexagons, and if you just click, we can see that we're building these modular building blocks. So a functionality that is added onto the platform that underpins one of these use case applications is done as a modular block. If you click again, we can see the different blocks have a whole packaged capability. So that could be, for example, GIS mapping. It could be data integration from a set of sensors. It could be user access and management. Some of these we've built already as part of the base of the underpinning capabilities of the platform. Others are developed for specific use cases and then would be usable and reusable across different use cases. And that's the goal of doing this composed architecture, as we call it. If you click again, we can see that a number of these different building blocks will be brought together into a solution. And that would be, for example, an application. And if you click again, we can see then how multiple applications represented by the different colors utilize the building blocks and some common building blocks to reuse and to get greater benefit from having these shared components. So clicking again, you can see that we're trying to really maximize reusability. So how can we benefit from the assets, the digital assets that are being built up across the city, and how can we make things exchangeable? So, we build a component that's for one kind of mapping. Then you can actually use different kinds of mapping, different base maps with the same overlays, so that you're not beholden to specific technologies, and that it just allows this kind of interoperability and this collaboration across the city and beyond. Next slide. You can see the 3 exemplars, the 3 kind of use cases that started, that we were working with the groups from the different universities. So Birmingham City University, looking at air quality and traffic and the impact between the two. Some really interesting use cases around, interesting capabilities around mapping how changing traffic would impact the air quality based on sensor data, some AI, putting AI in the hands of researchers and applying that in that area. University of Birmingham looking at available energy data and energy systems data and thinking about future challenges like retrofit, more EV vehicles, thinking about the energy rating of houses and how that could change over time, and how to make the most out of publicly available data sets and mapping that across the city. And then Aston University looking at fuel cells and how do you maximize the efficiency of fuel cells and extend their life and understand what that means in terms of maintenance. So what seemingly at first might look like different use cases that don't have much overlap actually could use the same data sets or could cross-pollinate between the different applications. And there are some things that are needed by everyone in terms of managing users, managing sets of data, being able to share dashboards, being able to utilize data in real time. Like there's lots of different ways in which the platform underpins these use cases. And Siemens also gave additional support around building some of the base platform functions and training for developers, and that would continue. It's all about onboarding new use cases into the platform, and that's why there's this amazing opportunity to bring other SMEs on board and to grow from the original 3 use cases that we started with. So looking forward again, you can see that we've, the goal was really to turn research outcomes into operational applications. And we have these applications now running, one for each of the use cases on the same underlying platform. So next slide. This gives you a bit of a taste of what it looks like and the user interface for the platform. So you have a login that's Diatomic, and users across the city, could be the city council, could be researchers or others, would log in and see these different applications. And we've built good role-based access and good separation between, so we can ensure that things that, data sets that need to be private are kept private, data sets that can be shared are able to be shared easily, and that users have access to as many or as few applications as they're allowed to see or as they're enabled to see. So really just that, having that flexibility to allow as much access as possible, but recognizing that there are ways in which some access should be restricted. And yeah, you can see that a lot of the use cases utilize mapping and overlay data sets on the mapping. And these are some of the example screenshots that we've used throughout the development. And in the future, we could also show you some of the live applications as part of a future demonstration that could be interesting. But you can get a sense of how multiple different applications across the city are coming together. So go to the next slide. We can see some of the opportunities, and just to, as part of this digital accelerator call, and the goal really now is to bring other exciting kind of innovation kind of projects and work with different partners to bring them onto the platform, to onboard and allow people to start quickly utilizing the modular platform and the existing components that are there already. That user interface framework that you saw is really modular and provides a starting point to easily get dashboards and things up and running. There may also be other applications that are already developed, and we can support with migrating those across the platform. It's really flexible in that sense. And then growing, so learning and collaborating, so connecting other forms of data across the city, generating these and enabling these new use cases that we're hoping you'll bring along with you, and then creating this ecosystem and interconnecting different partners in this collaborative environment. So the technology underpinning the collaboration that we want to see across the West Midlands there. So that's really a whistle-stop overview of what's been developed in the first phase of Diatomic. And I'm sure you may have questions, and yeah, we can certainly answer those, but hopefully it gives you a sense of the technology that exists.
Thank you so much, James, for covering the platform. If you do go on the opportunity page, you can find other recordings that show from the 3 universities their different use cases, and there's also another I think quite similar video done by you, James, a couple months ago, that also show how the platform works. So yeah, please do go see those for inspirations of what's possible and how your solution could improve what's already available. Great. We are now going to move on to the application process. So it's quite straightforward, but please, can we go to the next slide? So the applications are currently open, and they will be open until the 31st of August, midnight. So that gives you a good month to complete your application. We'll have the assessment and selection throughout the month of September. So first, there will be a round of scoring by a diverse group of assessors, and then we'll do a shortlist and we'll run some interviews with some of you. So between the 22nd and the 24th of September. And after that, we'll do a final deliberation at the end of September, and we will let you know who has been selected. We aim to have the welcome day on the 8th of October, and this program needs to be finalized by March 2026. Next slide, please. I will now cover the applicants' requirements and their eligibility criteria for this program. So to be selected, you need to have a registered UK office, and you need to have a registered office in West Midlands. If you don't have a main operation in West Midlands, or if you don't have a registered address in the West Midlands, it will be a bit more complicated. You will need to prove a strong link to the West Midland region. We are looking for solutions that are tier 4 and above. Really, we are looking for a range of solutions, something that might be early stage, but we're also very happy to get something that is a bit more advanced. Obviously, your solution should address one of the challenge at the minimum. Because the challenges are so diverse, we've decided for this time around that you can apply to several challenges, but you will have to do several applications. Though with the platform we are using now, you can import your answers. So normally it shouldn't take you much longer to tailor each several applications. And my colleague Claire, will give you a demo of the platform in a second, and you'll be able to see how you can create several applications if you want to apply for more than one challenge. We ask of you that you take part in the program fully, so you come to key events, you commit to the coaching and the mentoring, and really just fully embrace the journey of being part of the program. Next slide, please. So I'm going to cover the benefits now of the program. So as you can see on the screen, we are offering bespoke support to the companies that are joining the program. So if you need marketing support, investment support, if you need technical expertise from people that have digital twin experience, all of this will be part of the program. We will work with you, and really we want to create a bespoke experience for the people joining the program. So we will work really hard to make sure that what we offer in terms of support is suited to your needs. There will be also the opportunity to meet with potential customers, go to showcase events. There will be, a demo a demo day at the end of the program. So really, a lot of opportunities for you. As we say sometimes, you get out as much as you put in. So the more you are involved in the program, the more you will benefit from it. So those are the benefits for all the 10 companies that will join the program. But then if you go to the next slide, if you are selected to run a trial, then you will get a bit more. So up to 5 of those companies. So we will select 10, and out of those 10, 5 of those companies, up to 5 of this company will receive funding for the trial. We offer up to £20,000 per trial. So this means you will run trial with the challenge owner, so either with the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter or the Green Innovation Corridor between October and March 2026. And you will have the technical experts and the people from the area, so from the university, from the councils that are here to provide you the support and that you might need to run a successful trial. Moving on to the next slide. I will now cover the selection process that I kind of covered a little bit already, but to come back to the way it works. So you will apply before the 31st of August, deadline is midnight. And then we'll have a panel of assessors that will score all the applications that were received. So those assessors will be people from the council, the universities, people from Connected Places Catapult, and together we'll decide a shortlist of companies that we wish to take to interview. You will ask to come to an interview between the 22nd and the 24th of September. And for this interview, you will ask you'll be asked to prepare some slides. Finally, we'll have a deliberation session with the assessors, and we'll decide on the 10 companies that we are taking forward into the program. Next slide, please. The assessor will score you on 5 criteria that you can see on the screens with the weightings. So the first is solution and innovation, then program. Oh, that works. So first is solution and innovation. For this criterion, we'll be looking at what is the unique selling point of your solution and how is your solution comparing with the market. Next slide, please. For the program fit, we'll be looking at how will your solution deliver a high level of impact for the investment zones, and how does your solution fit with the challenges. So obviously this is really important. You need to have a solution that is responding to a challenge that we have listed. Otherwise you'll be selected. And you need to explain how, as a company, you would benefit from the program, what you aim to get out of it, because this is as much as helping us as to help you, right? We want to help you grow as well. And as well, we need to ensure that your company is within the right TRL, so that's 4 and above. For the next criterion, which is trial readiness and feasibility. So here we really want to understand if the trial you're proposing as part of your application is feasible in terms of time frame and in terms of budget. So we really hope that you can provide us with enough detail within that trial section of the application form for us to judge if the feasibility of the trial. Then we'll be scoring you on your team. So we want to see that you have a multidisciplinary team, that you have skills and knowledge into digital twins, that you have the right experience and the right capabilities in order to be part of this program. And then the last criterion is the market and traction. So we want to see if you have a good understanding of the market, if you already have some contract, if you already have some clients. It's just a good understanding for us of where you are on your journey. So those will be the 5 criteria that the assessors will be looking at scoring your application against. Next slide, please. So now the fun part, how to apply. So you can click on that link, you can find it on our website, or you can scan the QR code if you want to do it from your phone. I will hand over to my colleague Claire, who will do a short demo of how to use the platform, so you are all familiar with how to use it. It's very straightforward, nothing too complicated. Over to you, Claire.
Thank you, Agathe. And just tipped into good afternoon to everybody. My name is Claire Petheram. I work for a company called Simply Do Ideas Limited, which is the platform that hosts this opportunity. So I'll just share my screen. So the screen that you can see visible now is once you follow the link that Agat shared on the slides, will take you to the CPC page. This gives you some brief information. If you click on to apply now, this will take you to log in to My Catapult. If you've already got an account, if you haven't got an account, then you can simply register here. Once you log on here, it will take you through to the opportunity page in Simply Do. So this is the opportunity overview page. It gives you some of the information that's been presented this morning thus far in terms of the challenges that are applicable to this opportunity, the funding that's available and the key dates. So this specifies the close date for the opportunity, which, as Agat said, is midnight on the 31st of August. There's some step-by-step guides in terms of how to apply. There's a link to an application guidance document that can just be clicked from the page. There's a point of contact, which is Agat, and it has her email address and the requirements in terms of being able to apply, which have already been discussed. From this page, you can click on Create Your Application. And that will take you to the application form. There are 9 sections detailed on the left-hand side, and as you progress through completing your application, there's a status circle here which will slowly fill in as you complete the different parts of the application. And if you hover over a particular section, then it will inform you which fields still need to be completed. So as you scroll through, you can see there's a red asterisk by certain sections which show that these are mandatory sections. And there's also, where applicable, there's word limits specified. As Agat said, you can import content from previous applications. So if you've got another application that you've worked on and you want to import content to save you having to type that out again, there's the 3 buttons on the right-hand side here, which allows you to do that. You click on that and it will pull up the applications that you have that you could then pull content across from. As you progress through, the system will auto-save, so there's no need to worry about that. It will save in the background, so you can come back and forth and work on it, safe in the knowledge that the content that you've entered is auto-saved. As you scroll down, there's different sections, obviously, to complete, some which have upload options, such as here. And then as we get down to the project finance section, there's actually a file here, which is a template funding table. So if you click onto that link there, it will download that file, which enable you to add your content and then re-upload the file into this section here. For you to work on this, we do have the options by clicking the button up here to download your application as a PDF or download it as a Word document. If you download it as a Word document, obviously you can work on it offline, but then you would need to add the content into the Simply Do platform for your submission. You have the option also to add collaborators, so you can work on your application alongside a colleague by simply clicking onto the Add Collaborator button here. Once you've completed all of your sections and the status symbols have fully completed, down at the bottom here, that Submit button will become active to enable you to submit, obviously before the deadline date. If you've got questions in relation to your actual application or the program itself, obviously Agat's details are on the opportunity page. If you have any questions in relation to sort of technical aspects of the Simply Do platform, there is a button down in the right-hand side of the screen that will open up a chat function that you can pop any technical support questions to here, and then we'll respond to you relatively quickly. That's everything in terms of the application process in terms of the platform, so I'll hand back.
Thank you so much, Claire, for this great demo of the platform. We will now move on to the Q&A section. So please do ask all of your questions into the QA box, and we'll try to reply to as many as we can. If we don't have the answer, we'll just go and look to find it for you, and we will email you the answer if we don't have it on hand. I would like to ask all my speakers and technical support to join me back on screen so we can answer the questions that are asked by the attendees. I've already started to answer some of you through the chat function of the Q&A. The webinar is recorded. The recording will be made available. We can provide you the slides as well if you wish to have access to them. So all of this is possible. If you have specific questions you want to ask the challenge owners, please do just email me, and I will make sure that I can pass on your request to the right people. We want to encourage you to ask questions, and if you think you require to have a short meeting with a challenge owner to ask a few questions, that's also possible. We can try to accommodate meetings between you and the relevant people to answer your questions. Great. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I've said in my answers that needs to be reminded, but I think I've covered most of it. So one of the questions was also around the funding. So if you are selected for receiving the up to the £20,000, this is money for the SME. This is not money for CPC. The entirety of the £20,000 will go to you. And the scoring criteria are available on the opportunity page. If you look at the application guidance document and you scroll quite far down, you will be able to find them in one of the last section. Great. Maybe we can remove the slides now and just have everyone on screen. Thank you. So when are we going to receive the presentation? We can make this available in the next few days on our website, on the opportunity page. Another question we had was, if we are a remote SaaS company at GL4 stage looking to start commercial activities in the Midlands, can we apply? So as I said, for this program, we need to have companies that are based in the West Midlands or have a registered address in the West Midlands. If you do, you will need to prove some, or like explain why you want to be in the West Midlands. So this is I know a bit restrictive, but you will need to somehow prove why the West Midlands is a good fit, or what other activities you've done in the West Midlands so far. Another question we had was, our platform is an enhanced CRM solution, manages properties, utility billing, and citizen engagement. I can see how it can provide touch points to digital twin, but not necessarily respond to a particular challenge. Could that be an issue? Unfortunately, yes, because if you can't link your solution to a challenge, you're not gonna score very highly on program fit. So you really need to think how your solution can address one of the 6 challenges that was presented in the call today. Otherwise, unfortunately, there's a little chance that your solution will be selected. Can we apply as a new university, let's say Aston or BCU, for this call? It's a bit of a tricky question because with Aston and BCU being part of the consortium, I wonder if there's a conflict of interest in this one. So I think we need to revisit this, and I will provide you an answer later. I'm not completely sure how that will work. How about non-UK entities intending to move to the West Midlands? If you don't have a UK address, unfortunately, we can't accept your application. So you will need to have a UK registered address before applying to the program. And then again, you will need to explain why you would like to move to the West Midlands. So it's all about really showcasing the reason why this region is of interest to you, and proving that you have a foothold in this area. Do we have any more questions? I think I've answered a lot of them. We are going to, so when are we going to receive the presentation? As I said, we can make this available this week on our opportunity page. Anything else? I don't see any more questions coming in.
There is one question in the webinar chat, I think.
Oh, there's a question in the chat. Ah, yes, Hadley, I can see your question. Sorry, you're putting them in the chat and not in the Q&A box. Thank you, Manolia, for pointing this to me. I didn't see. Yes, if you are a private SME working with University of Birmingham, you can apply. It's just that I don't know. I just want to ensure that there is no bias if we have people from the university applying for a program that they're already part of. So if you are a private SME, you can apply and ask to be partnered with University of Birmingham. Any other?
There's a question about accessing the platform. So
Oh, I can see it.
we're doing some updates on the platform, so we'll make the link available soon. It's in the Q&A. There was one question about a link for the platform.
Okay, I trust you. If you can provide
Yeah.
the link later, then if you want to touch more on the platform I've done, Roman, feel free to add more data.
No, it's just there was a question that's can we have a link to access the platform? It's just we're doing some updates on the platform and we'll make the link available soon.
Thank you. Are you able to facilitate focus connection introduction regarding the challenges? I would like to have a bit more detail on this question in order to provide an answer. So if you want to reach out directly to me, so we can see what is feasible in terms of facilitating connections. I also wanted to say that we need to accept businesses and not individual academics. So I don't know if that helps regarding the questions on academia earlier that we had. So you need to be a business in order to be able to apply to the opportunity. Any other questions? If they are in the chat, I might not see them. I will wait another minute and I will take this time to thanks again all the people that came to speak today and present with me this webinar. I really appreciate you taking the time and I hope as an attendee you found the webinar valuable, that you got a lot of information that will help you and support your application that you will submit in the next month or so. Again, if you have any questions, if you need any support, please do reach out and let us know. We're always available to help. So do not hesitate to come and ask us. I don't see any more questions, so I think we can finish a bit early today. And again, if you have questions coming to your mind later on, just please do email me and I'll try my best to answer you. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.